I need y'all to get your water, get your popcorn, get your soda, whatever. Support the brother over here, man. It's crazy, bro. Let's check it out. Subscribe. How y'all feel about Andrew Tate currently? Y'all still mess with Andrew Tate? I feel like I really haven't heard anything about Andrew Tate anymore. This man was once the most famous person on the planet, but now it's like nobody talks about him anymore. All right, we got Andrew Tate returns to the USA and tells the truth about his case.
I'm always excited to have this guy on. This has been the third time he's been on the podcast. I think the only other person that's done that is maybe Trump and Dana.
Wow.
So Tate's one of the biggest supporters of the Full Send podcast.
Is it me or did Tate lose weight? Damn, 2 million views in 2 days. My guy Tate still got some pull.
We had you on pretty early, but we're glad to have you back, Andrew Tate.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, the first one was Croatia. I remember. That got me in a bunch of trouble. Then it was Dubai.
Did that get you in trouble?
No, what did I say in Croatia? I said something about why men prefer younger women because they've been fucked less than older women, and the feminists had a mental breakdown.
What did he say?
I think that was the exact reason I lost Instagram, to be honest with you.
Really?
That podcast, yeah.
Fuck.
So let's do it again.
Yeah,
I
let's do
have
it again.
nothing left to lose.
Yeah, you have nothing left to lose.
They've taken my freedom. They tried to take my money. Of course, they couldn't find it all. They've taken all my platforms. They took everything from me. So I have nothing left to lose. So let's do round 3.
That
Let's go.
first podcast, I feel like that was at like, I don't want to say your peak, but was that when things were like really getting fucking crazy?
So
for
let's
you?
analyze this. To answer that question professionally, we need to analyze exactly how fame works. And a lot of the fame in the world today is gatekept, right? So if you join a sports...
One thing I will say about Andrew, he's a very eloquent speaker. Like, he just speaks so smoothly, no stutters. He's a great speaker, man, and good charisma. That's why he blew up so quick.
Listen, we talking about practice.
Your gatekeeper is your manager or your team. If you talk out of line or say things you're not supposed to say, you're off the team. If you're in Hollywood, you have a manager. If you talk or say things you're not supposed to say, you can't be in movies anymore, you lose your manager. And then the other gatekeepers are the social media platforms. If you're on YouTube saying things you're not supposed to say, you know when they deleted you with Trump, when you interviewed Trump, they delete your channel or they delete you. So you're gatekept. I managed to get extremely famous without really having a gatekeeper. And for that reason, I was literally everywhere back then. And their goal to gatekeep me was to delete me from all of the social media platforms, which they did, but that didn't work because people continued to share my content.
Because you weren't going viral on your own pages. You were, but you were going, you invented clipping.
Well,
pretty much.
I guess.
Like you started the clipping era.
You know, come to think of it, he actually did. He actually did, man. There's all these different pages posting his content, and that's why he blew up so quick. He had a bunch of thousands of people just posting his content on all social media platforms. This man was everywhere. It was hard to escape this man.
You can't escape me!
This man legit became a meme. He had his own theme song and everything.
I knew how to say things that people wanted to discuss, which served me very well in the algorithms. And anybody who wanted views on their page could put up a video of me and get views. And on top of that, I wasn't copywriting anyone. I wasn't chasing the money off anyone. I didn't care. So there were people taking clips of me, putting them up, making arguments happen, getting paid off the views, getting paid off the ad rev. I didn't take a penny of it.
I didn't
care.
even realize that.
Yeah, people made a lot of money
I
from
did,
Tate.
but I forgot. You invented the clipping era pretty much. People saw you and they saw you getting clipped up, including us. Like everyone saw it. And they're like, yo, this is a new way to go viral. And now clips are everything.
Now it's everything. But there's a double-edged sword because a lot of the things people think bad about me are from out of context small clips, which are deliberately designed to be as abrasive and offensive as possible because it gets the most engagement. So some random kid in Peru can make money off AdSense and I didn't even see the money. So it goes both ways. But yes, back then was before the social media algorithms were actively trying to suppress my influence. So that perhaps was the peak of seeing Andrew Tate everywhere. I like to believe you still see me everywhere. It's just changed. It's no longer YouTube in Croatia with Nelk Boys. It's on BBC getting dragged in and out of jail.
I remember the transition though, because I think the first thing I ever saw with you is when you sat down with that like light skinned British girl in like the bar.
Standout TV, I think.
I don't know what it was called, but it was fucking hilarious. I saw that and it was funny. But I think on our podcast and like around that era, you would start to sprinkle in because back then you were only talking about girls and kind of funny stuff. And then I would watch and I would notice, and you started to like sprinkle in shit about how the world was working and corruption. And like, there was a little sprinkle of that on our podcast, like the education system.
And nowadays I be seeing some of his tweets. Andrew Tate, he's doing a lot of race baiting right now. Saying the hard R a lot. Talking about the Jews. Meat riding Elon Musk. I mean, I could see why he wants to get in Elon Musk's good graces. You know what I'm saying? Elon Musk is a very powerful dude.
Yep.
Then you kind of switched into that and you went away from the females and you started talking about just how the world works.
And that got me in a lot of trouble, it seems. I should have just carried on clowning on women. I should have just carried on saying women can't drive. And maybe I wouldn't have ever had to go to jail. But it seems I did shift to the important subjects after a while. And I say this often on nearly every single podcast. It's important people understand it, that your ability to speak freely is directly correlated to your insignificance. There's no such thing as free speech.
I mean, didn't he go to jail for his dealings with women? The whole sex trafficking thing?
Anywhere on the planet, including America. Nowhere, truthfully.
Like, I agree with a lot of the stuff he says about men, that men should be masculine. We gotta go through hardships to grow and develop, and we gotta work our asses off and grind and become that top tier man. I do believe in that, and I do agree with that. And I do agree that, yeah, you should provide, protect. Just general things about men. Provide, protect your women, take care of your kids, all that. So, first of all, I don't like the fact that he came up off Kemen and the things he was doing with Kemen, like typing for the women and shit like that. That don't really sit right with me. And I don't agree with the whole saying like your woman is your property. Like, she's my property, I own her. Every money she makes has to go in my account, and I'll dictate what she gets. Like, I mean, I don't agree with that, bro.
I decide what I do. Be quiet. Cook.
I wouldn't consider my girl to be my property. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't agree with that. That just does not sound right.
Speak freely. There are always subjects and things you cannot say, and if you touch on those subjects, it's fine unless people listen to you. You can touch on the subjects in your living room with your friend when no one's paying attention, but if you have a large audience, it becomes very, very different. So, yeah, it seems like I flew too close to the sun just before my arrest when I was in Dubai after we did our podcast. I said to Tristan, you know, we have to be very careful. This is the Icarus story. We're doing very well here. And we're everywhere, and everyone knows who we are, and we're making huge sums of money, and there's too many beautiful women by our pool, and our house is so big, and we have so many Bugattis, and everything seems too perfect. This is the Icarus story. Something's going to go wrong. And then we all know the rest.
Did you ever think you'd be this influential? You've been at this for a while. I know you've been in the kind of internet world doing different stuff, like entertainment, but did you ever think you'd be like this influential?
It's a good question.
Like, you come to the US, everyone's fucking... You and Tristan are like Batman, like, you know what I'm saying? Did you ever think that would happen?
Well, the reason it happens is because so many people can't help but dislike me, right? It takes hot and cold air to create a tornado. It's not the fact that I have a lot of people who like hearing what I say. That alone is not enough to get the fanfare my brother and I get. It's that there's a contingent of the population which are just settled on the idea that we're the worst men in the world, and that we're dangerous, and that we're terrible. So you have these two polarizing teams, these two camps. It takes light and dark. It takes hot and cold. Like I said earlier about the reason my clips went so viral is some people would say he's 100% right. Some people would say he's 100% wrong. So I think I'm very good at saying things in a way which is as polarizing as possible, which puts me in this position. So yeah, my influence is based on the back of the fact that people like what I say, but it's also based on the back of the fact that there's a lot of people who cannot stand me.
When you were coming up, though, like, you obviously wanted to be successful, but did you like see this level of success?
I didn't see anyone else saying things that I knew to be true. I would look at things and go, well, that's not true. But nobody else seemed to want to say it. Probably because of what we discussed earlier about your ability to speak freely is directly correlated. I got myself in trouble for what I did. So now I realize why. I mean, I always knew why. I kept saying before I went to jail that they're going to lock me up. After the cancellation, I knew they were going to try and put me in jail. That was very obvious to me. But I don't think I could sit here and try and sound like a genius. But I remember saying in our initial podcast that it was a 3-stage plan.
Listen, man, there's a lot of people on the internet saying some wild shit, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be in jail. You know what I'm saying? He got in jail for the stuff that he allegedly did with the women that was working on cam for him. You know what I'm saying?
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Because there's plenty of guys out here saying some wild shit. Like, for instance, Nick Fuentes, he said some wild shit, but we don't see him in jail. You guys know what I'm saying, right?
No. 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 Hell no. No.
And stage one was to keep talking in a way that garnered me lots of attention, and then to get canceled on purpose, and then to move people from platforms which were not matrix controlled. That was the whole plan. The plan was, I'm going to go on these podcasts, I'm going to say things that everybody knows to be true, I'm going to garner a whole bunch of attention. Eventually, they're going to try and shut me down and silence me. I'm going to move everybody over to alternative platforms. And then the rest of it kind of all played out with fate, I guess, that we moved people over to Rumble, and obviously Elon bought X. I had no control of Elon buying X, but I'm very glad he did. I moved people over to Rumble, which is a fantastic platform where you can tell the truth. And then Trump won. Thank the Lord Trump won. So we're kind of here because if things were different only a few months
I
ago
mean, how y'all feel about Trump?
at that election, I have a strong suspicion I would be in a jail right now. And so would Trump. So would you. Everybody would. They just lock up everyone at that point. So it worked out well in the end, yeah.
So how's it like being back in Miami? We went out the other night. We went to dinner.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
Yeah,
Did you miss, like, you've been stuck in Romania for what? How long?
3 years.
3 years.
Long.
It's been 3 years? Damn.
Like, was it nice, like, seeing some Miami chicks, or like, what
You
was
know
your-
what? It's nice. It's actually nice hearing like American words around you. It's nice hearing English. It's nice hearing American accents. It's kind of reassuring to know that, heaven forbid, if something happens to me here and I go to court, I can at least talk English.
What'd you think of the Miami talent?
I don't know. I'm retired from all those things now. Do you want I don't know what to say about girls. That what got me in trouble in the first place.
Yeah, your wheels were a little bit rusty at dinner. I
Yeah,
can't lie.
of
I feel
course.
like I was kind of wingmanning you a little
Of
bit.
course, you're the big boss here. You're the guy
No,
who's
but
good with the girls.
we were bouncing back and forth. But every single chick said they were in real estate too.
Oh, of
that's
course.
just what you get in Miami, right?
I like what he's doing in the office. Yeah, I mean, I do agree with him. I like that he's separating and preventing trans women from being in women's sports. I agree with that for sure. I'm just going to sit back and see what else he does and see if the economy actually gets better.
I'm sitting beside Tate, and there's music on, and Tate has his Shazam app out.
Yeah,
and he's Shazamming every
Shazamming
single
the good
song.
songs, yeah,
every
yeah.
single song, and then you're adding it to a Spotify playlist.
It's
but
good.
it was like 10 bands, or like Energy by Drake. It was like songs everyone would know. Like,
I
are
didn't
you
know.
not listening to like any American shit at all?
No, I've been kind of disconnected from the States and the whole American culture. I've literally been 3 years in Romania and 2 years of that in my house. So it's been a kind of a strange culture shock. It's nice to be home. It certainly feels nice to be home, but I feel like there's so much work to do and there's a lot of catching up to do. So it doesn't feel like I guess this is my personality as a whole, to be honest with you, no matter what situation I'm in, but I'm never looking at something going, cool, I get to relax now, or cool, I get to chill. It's always, okay, what work can be done here? So I'm glad to be back in America. I was a bit disappointed by my welcome, but I've come to the realization now that the people who dislike me not because I'm guilty of anything. They just don't like me. So they're always going to hate me, which is fine. These charges are going to haunt my name for the rest of human time, no matter how innocent I'm proven, which is fine. So it's good to be home. It's also very nice to interact with real people again. And I've had no negative interactions with anybody. Everybody comes up to me and says very nice things. It seems I have a lot of fans here in
Even
Miami.
when we went out, like all the girls, everyone. But people are very fascinated by you, right? Like even the chicks, like they're kind of just like staring like, yo, is this guy a fucking real person?
Well, I think that I have this strange reputation now. My enemies have given me the reputation of like a mob boss, a bad guy. Like Tristan and I are the Gambino brothers.
Which is kind of sick, right?
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to be like the rich, famous bad guy.
Yeah.
So, and
No,
we're not even bad
yeah,
guys.
you guys are like real life fucking supervillains.
Well, if you're like a cartel, let's say you're a cartel boss, right? You're in Mexico and you're doing real shit and you're chopping people's legs off and you're the head of the cartel, whatever. I mean, obviously you have motion, you have movement, but you can't go any city in the world and be feared. You're just going to walk into one city in Saint-Tropez, whatever. No one's going to know who you are. You're just a dude. Where Tristan and I can go in any city on the planet and they're like, oh my God, it's them. Oh my God.
He ain't lying.
And everyone kind of gets a little bit shook. I don't know why. We don't do anything. We have dinner.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Yeah. So I have to thank my enemies for that. I also have to thank my enemies for how pathetically they bitch and moan and cry about me. It truly is. My brother and I enjoy each morning with our coffee. Sometimes we see comments of people having mental breakdowns. The Tate brothers are the most dangerous misogynists. It's so fucking gay.
Why are you gay?
Who's the biggest whiner?
Ben Shapiro cries nonstop.
You went at him yesterday, right?
That's it.
All these conservatives have mental breakdowns, but they do
which
it in such
sucks
they do it in such a feminine frame. It's just hilarious.
Which sucks because I do like Ben too. I mean, obviously he says a lot of smart things. Like I've been a fan of him and I'm a fan of yours, which is like, I feel like you guys are disagreeing on such like small things, right? I'm sure you guys agree on a lot of shit too.
I'm sure we probably agree that dudes can't chop their dick off and become a chick. I mean,
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
but that's pretty basic. I mean, I'd struggle to disagree with that. I probably agree on that point with nearly anyone on the planet.
Would you ever do a one-on-one debate with him?
Sure.
Has that ever been talked about?
I don't think he'd like to do it because next to me on camera, he's going to look extremely small, and optics matter. You know?
I'm a fan of both Ben and Tate. As a fan, I would love to see that.
I'd love to talk to the guy, but he's just going to look like a midget.
That one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it.
He has the problem which he cannot solve, which is that he's a very small man. He's smaller than my girlfriend, and he's going to look ridiculous sitting next to me. If he can fix that, if he can get a booster seat, then sure, we can talk about
That'd be
it.
good entertainment. What else do you have planned while you're here? I know we might go to UFC and Power Slap.
UFC, Power Slap in Vegas, might do that. I've got a new penthouse I'm moving into, going to do that. I have to.
So you got a penthouse here?
Yeah, bought a penthouse in Miami.
Wow.
Sold me after that.
Damn, you just went ahead and just bought a penthouse in Miami just like that.
Dinner with you after hearing those few songs that I Shazammed. I thought, fuck it. So I bought a house here.
Do you think you could name like any popular songs?
Probably not.
Like, what if we went like?
I am the worst.
What if we went 10K a song
Guys,
right now?
I am the worst for popular culture. You can try. I am shit at
All right,
songs.
let's do this.
I
for
don't
real.
watch movies. I don't watch TV.
Let's do 25K a song.
Fucking hell. Well, I pay you if I.
No, you don't have to pay me.
Oh, that's free money.
So
let's
this is
go.
pretty
That's
much
free
like
money.
this is like the jet to Vegas.
Let's free
pretty
money.
much.
All right, let's go.
All right,
let's go.
Let's do.
Bro, Nelk, this man got money, bro. Nelk is going crazy.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
You're broke. You're poor.
They just started off doing pranks, and now they're a whole franchise. It's actually crazy to see how far they came, because they're like the OG pranksters, man. I know they got a whole corporation, a whole business making hella money, man. Like, it's crazy.
We'll do 4 songs.
Cool. But I don't watch movies. I don't watch TV. I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I don't know what all you cool kids are doing. I don't know anything.
Last night we let the liquor talk.
Liquor talk. I've heard it before. Who is it?
I don't know who this is though. Oh, Morgan Wallen. Okay.
No clue. I can't name the title on the artist. No way. I know the song.
Bro, it's Last Night by Morgan Wallen.
Well, I know the song. I've heard it.
You don't bump Morgan Wallen?
No, sorry. But I have heard that song.
Okay.
I've definitely heard it.
All right.
But I didn't know who it was by. I never would
This
have got the
one,
name.
I don't know if this is your jazz. I personally think this is a track.
Sabrina Carpenter. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, man. Sabrina Carpenter is bad as hell, bro. She is bad as hell. Like, I'm usually not into white girls with her specific phenotypes, like no blonde hair and stuff like that. But she is nice, bro.
You better go somewhere and beat your meat.
Is it?
Now I'm going to guess totally wrong. I've heard
You
it
can't
as well.
even guess it's right because you'll look like a bitch. Kinda.
No, it's either Ariana Grande or Dua Lipa. Both wrong? I fucking
Close enough.
Who?
Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter.
Sabrina Carpenter. Who the fuck's Sabrina Carpenter? I don't know who these people are.
I don't think he's gonna get any. Yeah.
Yeah, my guy's an unk. Big unk.
I know the songs. I don't know who sings them. It's not like the olden days where it used to matter who the artist was. Don't even know the song.
You definitely not gonna know that.
Honestly, I couldn't even name this one too, but I know it's popular. That was Yaglo. Yeah, so you're. I mean, I might
I'm
get
disconnected.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, it's kind of amazing. Music used to matter. Like, the song would come out and it'd be the song of the summer. I'm old enough to remember this. How old are you?
30.
You're a youngster. I'm a real old man. I'm 38. So I remember one song would be the song of the summer, and everybody
Damn, this man 30?
knows who sung it, and it would be the biggest track ever, and it would matter, and everyone would buy the CD, and you couldn't listen to it free online, and you'd sit there and watch the music channel all day waiting for it to come on. Now there's just so much music being pumped out on Spotify. It's ridiculous.
What did
I
you
don't know.
listen to growing up? Like, what's like nostalgic for you?
The only thing that was playing in my house was my father's music, which was Bobby Womack. Usually, it was like soul.
What about when you're like a teenager though? When you like,
have I really ever been that into music? I'm not sure.
like,
I
do you listen to rock or rap?
I
or-
listen to everything, and I like everything. I like good songs from everything, but I would never say I've
Yeah, me too. I can't listen to one genre, y'all. I listen to everything.
ever been really into music. I've never been to a concert, ever. If I hear a song, I like it, but you know, I don't.
Should hit a Morgan Wallen concert.
I mean, it's probably great. There's probably hot girls and cowboy hats.
Good place to fall in love.
I bet it is. But I've just never been, I've never really been ultra fascinated with most things. I have this weird habit, which I'm going to admit now on this podcast, which will be used against me forever, but I never watch TV ever. And if I do watch TV, the only thing I watch are cooking shows. And I watch cooking shows and I get mad. They irritate me, but for some reason I'm addicted, like a fly bumping into
What? Bro, this man is addicted to getting mad.
a lamp. I just have to sit there and watch cooking shows. And I get mad watching them because I'm sitting there going, okay, food is good. But the way these people talk about food and the mental breakdown they're having over food, like, are you fucking like, who cares? It's cheese, bro. No, but it's
Well, yeah, you still watching. You keep watching.
the cheese. Did you try that cheese? Oh my God, the cheese is late. And they start crying because they missed the dinner. And
You pick up your palette knife and then work that into your meat. Give your meat a good old rub. That's it. Nice and hot. Hot and spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
And I just sit there watching, getting more and more frustrated until I eventually turn it off. Food is not that interesting. I mean, music's great, but it's not that interesting. I've never really been that into these things. I kind of feel like I've had a higher threshold for entertainment. And that has been a blessing and a curse because you're difficult to please. But If you're difficult to please, you're going to try and achieve amazing things.
Why
If you're
is
trying
that?
to achieve amazing things all the time, you're going to achieve amazing things. If you can wake up and have a cheese sandwich and put on fucking a song from Spotify and be like, today's great, well, then you're never going to do what it takes to go out there and actually be successful. If you wake up and say, I don't care about the food, don't care about the music, don't care about the sports team, don't care about the TV, don't care about any of that, I want a Bugatti, I want a jet, I want to work.
That's a good point. See, this is where I agree with the things he says. 'Cause that's a good point. That means you're not easily distracted. And when you're not easily distracted, you can focus more on the goals and achieve what you want to achieve, because a lot of shit can distract you, man. Like the music, the new TV show that's coming out, the new movie that's coming out. All of that shit is distraction, man. Sports, all of that, it could easily distract you from achieving your goals if you got specific goals in mind to achieve.
And that's a fact.
So I try to limit my consumption of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? I'm consuming entertainment right now because, I'm streaming. It's what I do. I'm on stream. But when I'm off stream, guys, I don't watch that much stuff. I'm usually trying to come up with ideas to make videos.
You smart.
I've never been entertained by these things. I don't find them that interesting. I'm not against them, and I know what a good song is, but I've just got bigger fish to fry.
Is that because you think it's like a waste of time? I've seen you say that before. Does your mind just never stop?
If I had to be honest with you, I think my dopamine receptors are pretty fucked by now. I mean, I grew up completely poor, and then I had 87 professional fights, which of course is going to be a huge rush. That's why fighters get addicted to it, because once you retire from fighting, normal life is pretty bland and mundane. And then I had the whole webcam thing, and I had all these beautiful women work with me, and I was making money with that. And then that went bust, and it went broke again. Then I got filthy rich with Bugattis and private jets and hundreds of millions of dollars. Then I get thrown in a Romanian dungeon. Then I become the most famous man in the world. Then I'm stuck in Romania for 3 years in my house. Then I fly to Miami and land, and it's a hero, everyone's fanfare. Like, my dopamine receptors have been up, down, down, down. So someone goes, have you heard this song? I'm like, bro, who gives a fuck? I've done too many bigger things. It's like a man who's been to war. And then he comes back and they're like, do you want to watch this movie? He's like, not really. Like, I'm used to getting shot at. I don't give a shit about this movie. It doesn't matter anymore. So
at this moment in time, are you like happy?
I wouldn't say I'm unhappy in any way. And I would say I'm happy, yes, but the whole idea of happiness in and of itself is skewed in the Western world, especially in the masculine frame, because there's so many men who are waking up complaining about the fact they're not happy, which is the strangest mindset I think a man can have. Because as a man, how happy you are has absolutely nothing to do with how you live your life and how you perform and what you need to do. How happy you are is a pointless measurement, so why do you even measure it at all? I would argue that as long as you're not distraught, as long as someone you love didn't die that day, heaven forbid that happens often, let's say a couple of times a decade, besides those days, you should be happy enough to go to the gym and perform and make your money and do what you need to do. Who gives a shit if you're particularly smiley or not? I think it's quite binary. This whole idea of how happy am I is the easiest way for a man to destroy his life. If you're chasing happiness, you're only going to do hedonistic garbage and achieve absolutely nothing important. If you wake up and say, I don't care how happy I am, I want to be proud of myself and I want to make other people proud of me, so I have to do all these things irregardless of how I feel, you're going to have a fantastic life. If you wake up and say, I want to be happy, you're going to chase silly hoes, drugs, and alcohol.
But that's temporary happiness, right?
Well, but how else can you get instant happiness unless it's temporary? To get
Yep,
long-term
true.
happiness is something that's only going to come from dedication and hard work, which requires short-term suffering. It's just delayed. So
That's true. That's a great point, man.
if you're dedicating yourself and working hard for the future happiness, but especially considering the fact that most people are never happy with what they get and you always want more, your life just becomes hard work and dedication and struggle and suffering.
Yeah, you're just going to chase happiness your whole life until you can't chase anymore.
It's what you just exist within, and you don't operate under the paradigm of happy or sad. To me, it's quite binary. It's not a scale of how happy am I. It's just, has something terrible happened today? Am I distraught? No, then I'm happy. It's almost like there's no such thing as cold. It's just an absence of heat.
Yeah, because like, I wouldn't say I am happy most days. I wouldn't describe myself as happy most days. You gotta laugh, you gotta smile. But most of the time, I'm neutral, man. I'll say I'm neutral. Like, I'm in between. I'm just neutral. I think that's a good place for me to be. Yeah, I will have my moments where I laugh and I feel good, you know, chilling with my friends and homies and whatnot. But most of the time, I'm just neutral, man. I'm chill.
Daddy, chill.
I'm not angry. I'm not sad. I'm not happy. I'm not, I'm not distraught. I'm just right in the middle, chilling.
There's no cold. There's just heat or there's no heat. Well, if there's no despair, heaven forbid a family member dies. If there's no despair, then there's only happiness left. I was happy in jail. I'm happy here. I'm happy in Romania. I'm happy if they arrest me again. I'm happy all the time because unless something truly devastating happens, It's the only frame I operate under.
All right, then. With that said, we're gonna end that video right there. You know what I'm saying? Like he was saying some cool stuff. He was saying some cool stuff for sure.
You talking my language, I can't help but